Hello, bonjour, welcome in this new episode of Accessible. Today we are welcoming, and I'm so delighted to have Erica Parkinson with us, a rising champion for England under 17, and also she plays in Portugal with the local club called Valadares. Today she's going to talk to us about her journey, what inspires us, her future, also her childhood in Singapore. Welcome, Erica.
Thank you.
So, Erica, thank you so much for agreeing to be with me today in this episode of Athlete, Women Athlete in a very challenging sports.
Mm-hmm.
Erica Parkinson is a rising star in for footballers. And so, Erica, I know you for a while now because my boys are also in as athletes. And so, let's be yourself and let's talk about your journey, your success, your fears, etc., etc. So first, as I know, you were born in Singapore from a British dad and a Japanese mom.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your family.
Yes, as you said, my mom's from Japan, but I think we grew up, in mostly an English-speaking household. But I think it's important to say that, we're always very in touch with our Japanese side, and the Japanese culture was very important to us. And then in terms of our family and growing up in Singapore, well, obviously we have some similarities with that. But yeah, it was a great place to grow up. I think that, it's very safe. It's very modern and developed, which is, a nice place to grow up. And then on top of that, having football and many friends who play football there, it was a nice culture to develop. Yeah.
And you, of course, speak also Japanese. You speak Portuguese, English, and Japanese, correct? Or there's another language?
A bit of French.
A bit of French. Yeah, that's true. I remember that. Yes, perfect. So, Erica, I know you since you're 5 years of age, I believe, and you are dragging everywhere with the boys, playing with my boys too, and you are part of this beautiful academy, which I think really set up the tone for what came after GSSL Singapore. So tell me, how did you get inside of it and how did you start it? Was it because I know you have your brother?
Yeah.
So tell us.
Yeah, so I mainly started football with my dad, of course. He actually named me after a footballer, Erica Cantona.
I was going to come to that because your dad is a big fan, is a big footballer, even though himself is a cricket player.
Squash.
A squash, exactly.
Yes.
But a squash player. But so he named you after?
Eric Cantona.
Eric Cantona.
Yeah.
And he named your brother Dennis after?
Dennis Law.
Dennis Law, so everything.
For Man United.
For Man United. So he's a very big Man United fan.
Yeah.
So actually, I would like to say hello to Richard and Kay, I'm sure, and I hope they are going to be watching us.
Definitely.
And Dennis. By the way, I wanted to say hello to Dennis too, because he was one of my first subscriber to be to subscribe for Accessible.
That's
so
nice.
I just would like to say thank you. So GSSL.
Yes. Yeah. So I joined when I was about 4, I believe, and obviously Dennis had been playing for a few years there. Yeah. So I joined. There was under 5s, under 6s, I think, and obviously they knew Dennis, so they let me join and they let me play with them. Yes. And then I think around the age of 6 or 7. I started to play both with boys and girls. So I would have a match in the morning on Saturday with the boys, and then I'd quickly go to Tampines, and then I'd do my match with the girls, which was great. I think both playing with boys and girls helped me develop different skills. Yeah. Especially playing with boys at a young age, because obviously there's certain things like the tempo, the technical ability that you you gain from that whilst also playing with girls.
With girls.
Yeah.
And our viewers will be able to catch up on some photos that we have of you with the boys in also with girls at GSSL. You were like this size and they were so big. And so at GSSL, I remember watching you play myself because I came and of course watched my boys and I watched you play. What I saw in you was that girl that would be like, if I have to run into a wall and I will get that ball, it doesn't matter who is in front of me. Where did you get that from?
Well, I'd say from both my parents. I think a lot of my, determination comes from them, and how they approach different aspects of their life. My dad with sport, with business, and my mom, with taking care of us, with her cooking. And then definitely my brother. I'd say Dennis is like probably one of the most important in terms of the mindset that I have.
Yes.
Like whether it be me competing against him or trying to be like him, one of those two factors would, help me in terms of my mindset for football. So he's definitely very important.
Yeah, and he's a great guy. He's really a great guy.
Yeah.
So, I really saw that in you when you were so young, and we always talk together. Of course, obviously, my boys knows you very well, and we always thought that you would be a great footballer. Obviously, we were all in Singapore, going to Malaysia, going to Thailand, Sweden, from to the Youth World Cup, where you won a few points.
Yeah,
there.
we came third. And we won in the under 11s.
And the 11s, yes. And so from that point on, then you started to play with boys. And you are still with boys until you arrived in Portugal, correct?
Yeah.
And so at age 10, we moved to Portugal. When I say move, because we almost moved almost together. And then finding your pace here, your space here in this country where football is also important. I think they never thought what just hit them, because they saw you playing and then they saw you playing with boys and couldn't understand how come you were so good, because truly believe that this experience you had in Singapore really helped you here too.
Yeah.
So would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. And so tell me, so you started with FC Forge, then Lessa, and then now you're with Valadares.
Yeah,
So tell me how this happened.
Yeah, so the first club that I went to when I moved here was FC Forge. So I played with them from 10 until 13, I believe. And I think those were 3 very important years. Of course, Dean also played for Forge for a bit.
Yes, Dean is my son.
Yeah. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think that they were like great for shaping me in terms of a player. I think it was different because I did have like a bit of a language barrier. I was the only girl there, and obviously I'd just come from Singapore, so they don't really know me, but I think it was great to have that experience. The coaches were amazing, and I still keep in touch with a lot of them now, which is nice. And then from then moving to Leishonch, that was also great. I think that there was a few coaches there who also really shaped the player that I am. I think obviously as like boys start to grow and get bigger and more muscular and develop, like more coaches would be reluctant to play a girl with boys, but a lot of the coaches there were very determined to make sure that I continued to play. Which was great for my development. And I think that's when I like truly started to, see that like I could go somewhere. And yeah, I was.
And then, so then at this time, around this time, you were around 14, 15. Around 16 years of age, you got called by the British England selection.
Yeah.
How was that?
That was great. Yeah, I was like very excited for my first tournament. We went to Croatia, I believe, and I didn't think I was going to play. I was playing in the under 17s, but I was still younger, so I was 2 years younger. So, I was just there for the experience, and then coming on and scoring, which was great. And it was a great honor to play for my country.
Yes, and you were wearing number 7, like Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And so the first game under 17 so representing England. So you have a double citizenship, correct?
Yeah.
So representing England, and so you scored, and that is how really I believe you knew, okay, I can do this, correct? I can do this. So now, just to understand a little bit the transitioning between, because you've been used to play with the boys, and you used to be in an environment with boys as well, and they all, I believe, respect you very much, but they were not easy on you.
No.
They will be like playing as if you were a boy too.
Yeah.
And I believe this is really also help you a lot.
Yeah.
And then to that, going to with a group of girls, how did it go?
Well, obviously I joined Valadares when I was 15, so I was still like quite young, especially for a women's team. But you know, it's a great community. I think all the women's players, like, they make it so welcoming. Obviously the football is different and you have to adjust to that. There's certain things that you have to adjust in your game, like your passing's different, your timing of runs is different because it's a different pace. But yeah, I think in terms of like community, it was very easy to fit in and to enjoy myself. I felt like I had like a second family, which is great.
That's great at Valadares.
Yeah.
Yes. And then obviously for England, you play with the ladies. And how was it there?
Yeah, that as well was good. Obviously, they're younger, so it's again a different experience. But I've honestly met like some of my best friends who I talk to all the time every time I go back for camps. And it's great to have people your age who are like going through the same thing. Like a lot of them will be playing at their clubs and, you know, will do online school like me because they don't have time for it. So it's good to have like that shared experience with like a big group of girls.
Yes, yes. And so you arrive in England, and then you play for the England team. We were in number 7. You're a group of girls together. So how do you wrap your head around this and prepare yourself for a game that's to come? Like, for instance, against Croatia. Now I'm talking about more the mental preparation that you would do prior. I'm not talking about the nutritions and everything, but more the mental.
Yeah, so I think one positive is that I don't usually get nervous for games, which is good. It helps me stay calm. Like, usually I'm just very excited and I have like a lot of energy, and I'm just like ready to go to the game. I think even if you don't get nervous, mental preparation is really important. I work with Red to Blue, Martin Gazing, which is great. I think that really helps me to, you know, put things into perspective and stay grounded and composed in a game. So that's one thing that I do, and I have my routines before a game. I really like to write down my thoughts, what I intend to do in the game. Visualization as well, I think, is really important. And then just before the game, staying calm, sticking to your routines.
Yes. Martin Gazin, who is doing a red and blue method for athletes, is a very good mental coach. Indeed, I also think he is. And what will be, you think, if you have to give an advice to someone that wants to go towards that path, what would you say to that little girl that you were to now, like, any little girls or young ladies watching you, what was for you the most challenging?
Well, I think the first thing is obviously to start. I think like if they have any passion in football and they really enjoy watching it, I think that they should start. And, you know, go join a team, practice, play, and just see how they are like on the pitch. I think that's the most important thing. And then on top of that, like especially 10, 11, 12, you know, once you're going into that stage where you're going to join an academy and make it serious, I think just staying committed and dedicated is important. I think it's important to know that you're going to have to make sacrifices, but if it's truly what you want to do and if it's your passion, then those will always be worth it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Speaking about sacrifices, as you know, I have 3 boys that are also athletes.
Yeah.
I do know that they have to make the sacrifices that they have to do. And how did you combine this? How do you feel about this?
Yeah, I think like when you have so much passion for what you do, the sacrifices don't really, like, of course you have to make the decision and sometimes it's hard, but it's always worth it, which is good. You know, you're always making a sacrifice so that you can do what you love.
Yes.
So I guess you could see it as a sacrifice, but I don't always see it like that.
Yeah.
I think balance is also really important, and like making sure that you're not dedicating too much to the point where it's like taking over your life. I think like when you're having your trainings and having your games, like to obviously be completely present and put all your energy, but then when it's time for you to socialize or, you know, have your school and education, then focus on that too.
Yeah. Of course, socialize, coming to that as well as it's also you cannot do like what any other typical young lady of your age who is now 17 would do. So how do you feel about that? Do you feel that sometimes some of the friends that you may have, maybe I don't know, that are not athletes can understand that, or did you lose some friends because of that, or what do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think I do have like a lot of friends in football and also outside of football. And honestly, I think it's important to have friends who are not always like fully football focused as well, because you know, like when you've had a bad game and you're upset about training, you can kind of just compartmentalize and then move on, and it puts things into perspective when, you know, you have someone who doesn't know anything about football, because they're just like, it's fine, like let's go have fun, go for dinner. And it kind of just helps calm you down. And but I also think it's nice to have friends who relate to, you know, the sacrifices and the struggle of certain aspects that you can talk about, and then they fully understand, which is why, you know, I feel like I have a second family both at England and also at Valadares, because I can talk to them about basically everything, and they'd have a very similar lifestyle, so they'd understand.
Yes. So now when you say you speak to them in Valadares, I suppose they all you master totally the Portuguese now anyways. You talk very well Portuguese. So you had to, right? You were thrown in on the pitch, not speaking any Portuguese, and which is the best way to learn as well. Tell me, in the world of sport, especially football, has progressed a lot and have had tremendous progress, but still, obviously for women, is still not there as it would be for men. So what are your thoughts about this, and what would you change, or what you think we could change to make this better for women in football?
Like, I think, first of all, being in the Portuguese league for 3 years now, I've seen a lot of differences from when I first came to the club at Valadares to now. We've had new facilities, you know, they've been mandatory changes to have all the women's team games on grass. And I think those changes are great. And obviously, like, the main things I'd mention are like facilities. You know, it's always nice to have clean places to change, good facilities, and like them providing all the equipment needed. So I think, you know, that obviously has come a long way in the last few years, but if it can go more, then why not, you know? It's going to help a lot of women and players, and just like increase the whole competitivity of women's football. And then on top of that, I think for viewers, I agree that like people who watch men's football are not always going to want to watch women's football, but if people can like view it without a stereotype and kind of as a clean slate, like it's a different sport in a way, because, you know, a lot about it is different. The way women's play are different, but nevertheless, it's still a very competitive sport. So I think that's just important to have an open mind.
Yes. And England just won the Euros.
Yeah, exactly.
This is telling you that it comes a long way. Did you felt sometimes that, okay, I cannot take this anymore for whatever factors, like if it's the training time, because I know sometimes the girls trains later, more later than the men, or if it was because of a game was too hard, or you didn't have the same things that you know because you have a brother who is also an athlete and a football player had and you didn't have on your side as a woman.
Yeah.
Were there certain times that you get so frustrated about one specific things or several?
Well, I think, yes, of course, like frustration's always part of the game. Like if I have a game where I don't think I did as much as I could, I'll be frustrated. But I've never had a time where like that frustration has gotten to the point where I like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore.
Okay.
You know, that's always like in my mind, it's like not even an option. Like I just have a lot of passion for the game. So I know that I'll be frustrated at certain moments, but that won't affect like how I feel about it.
Yes. I mean, me who knows you for such a long time, I know you have a lot of passion about it, and it was a little lion, baby lion on the field in Singapore, running after the boys and sometimes even scored. So so I know you had that in you. So I'm not surprised at all of this journey. And if you have just tell me a little bit, if you have an options now when you see yourself, imagine now you're only 17, so you have still a lot to do. So you see yourself as a professional footballer, and you already signed a pro contract, and then now you're playing for England, and the long-term run, you see yourself as continuing as a professional footballers. At the same time, you have your plan B, which is your study that you are doing with the online. And how do you structure that? Because I know sometimes it can be a little bit challenges. How you structure both?
Yeah, so luckily we have our trainings in the morning, which is like another change relating back to the other question in terms of like, you know, development in women's football. So we can train in the morning, and then we have our afternoon to recover, rest, and that's when I have my classes. Okay. So I think just like it's important, I don't have to do like too much every single day, but you know, just 2-3 hours a day in the afternoon, getting my work done, having my classes is important. And it's also good in terms of balance, because sometimes, you know, I just want something to take my mind off of football, and I have education, which I thoroughly enjoy as well. So, you know, it's like it's in some ways it's a second passion for me, because I love to learn, and I love the subjects that I'm taking now.
Which are they?
I'm taking psychology, economics, and business as a A-level. So
very good, very good. And so just to come back to food, because I know your mom is an excellent cook. So what are your restrictions? What do you eat? I know obviously what you eat, but if you can explain to the viewers how you eat before a game, how you would eat when you don't have a game, what you would eat when you're on holiday, just to have an idea.
Yeah. So I think like the main thing to prioritize in football, especially for women, is performance. And I think like a lot of women maybe can get swept up in terms of, you know, eating too little or eating too much, depending on like how they want to look or how they think that they should eat. But I think the main thing is that you should eat to feel your body and to perform well. And then obviously still that comes with certain restrictions. Like during the week, you want to increase your protein, for example, and have like not too much carbs, because obviously you're not always going to burn them. And then having a very balanced diet is important to make sure your body's working well and functioning as it should be. And then in terms of before games, usually that's when you'll have a lot of carbs, so your carbo load. Because you have to run, you know, possibly 90 minutes the next day. It's going to be a lot of sprinting and stuff. So yeah, that's like usually if you have a game on Sunday, Saturday, lunchtime, and at night you'll have like pasta, rice, a lot of carbs. And then in the morning as well, you'll have toast, jam. And then usually for lunch, we again have like a lot of carbs so that you have enough energy throughout the game.
And when you're on holiday, do you just let yourself go and eat whatever you want, or you still have somewhere in your mind I should maybe be careful with something, or you just enjoy?
Well, obviously, like I still have something in my mind because even if I'm on holiday, I'm still an athlete.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, like I like to train during my holidays. You know, do some running, do some gym.
Yeah.
So I'll still be mindful. I think like you don't need to schedule it around your games, for example, which is a benefit. So you can. It's not like you have to save your carbs for a certain day, and you can be a bit more free. I think it's good for your mind as well to not always be like on a constant restriction. So on holiday, yes, you should be a bit mindful, but also like if you want to have a cake for dinner, you can.
You can have a cake for dinner. So this is true because I mean you never stop really training and exercising when you are even when you're on holiday. But indeed, I agree with you. You also should try to enjoy, because especially because you're off season now. So, and also what I wanted to ask you also today, because I'm going to take this advantage that you are here with me, because you're inspiration for a lot of young girls and ladies, because you did a lot in a very small amount of time. People doesn't know you are surprised. Me, I know you obviously since you're 5, so I knew you were going to go somewhere. I knew then you were going to you are getting someplace. So how you feel that when, for instance, you're preparing for a game, everything is ready to go and everything, and I know luckily it didn't happen for a long time, and then you're not chosen, you're not picked, because this sometimes can play such a big role into the mental of the athlete.
I think that's like one of the most important things to be able to deal with, especially when you have such an expectation. You want to play, your family's there to watch, and then all of a sudden you're not playing, and I think that can be very frustrating. And obviously it's easy to just say like, oh, brush it off and be motivated, but I think the main thing is you kind of just have to acknowledge it. You can be frustrated about it. I think it's never nice for an athlete to sit out on a game that they think they deserve or they think that they should be playing. But I think the main thing is like during trainings and games, don't give the coach an excuse to not play you. So like do so much on the pitch that it's impossible for him to not play you. And even if he doesn't, then I think it's important to just not outwardly show your frustration.
Exactly.
I think that can really, cause the team to have like demotivation. It can also show to the other coaches and to the staff that, that's really affected you. And I think that they do look at those details. So I think you can feel however you feel inside, but once you're needed, once you step onto the pitch, just like make sure you give your 100% nevertheless, and don't outwardly show that frustration.
So do you agree with me that this is an important factor?
Yes, definitely.
In an athlete journey, life and game and everything, that when you're preparing a game, So Erica, just tell me a little bit now about more about your relationship with the coaches. Do you think that some athlete, as we have seen this into also with the men football, sometimes, big names would get crushed, would get really, really cross with their coach. I'm not going to name any names, but, do you think this relationship with the coach is important? Or how does someone behave towards a coach besides being respectful?
I think that your relationship with your coach is really important. I think that there should always be that boundary of, respect and professionalism, because in the end, like they do have a lot of experience and they have a lot of knowledge, and you have to respect that, even if you have different views on what the tactic for a certain game should be, or on how someone should play, or where you should be playing. But I think, being able to like having a relationship of mutual respect and being able to, come to them with any issue that you have is really important, and having that like freeness to be able to have a conversation. I think how you phrase what you say is also important, because in the end, he's a coach and he chooses who plays, and you don't want to put your teammates down, or you don't want to come off as arrogant. So I think like how you phrase what you want to, your message and what you want to say is also very important to make sure that, you know, you don't give the wrong idea to the coach.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I think it's really important to have a good connection with your coach, to be able to talk to them freely, to not cause any big conflict, because, you know, that could create a lot of tension.
Yes, yes, yes. And once I know, because of my boys, like one of my worries as a mother watching them is always injuries. So how do you deal with that? Imagine you're a game, or you injured yourself in training, and what is your biggest fear in your world, in your own mind? What is your biggest fear towards your sport?
Well, obviously,
I'm sorry, is it injury, or is it more your mindset? Is it more, or are you worried about injury, or not that much? Or do you don't put too much weight on it?
yeah, I would say personally, I don't worry too much about that, because I think that like where you put your mindset and your energy is sometimes where it like follows. So if you're focusing too much on, you know, oh, I don't want to get injured in this game, then a lot of the times you might end up doing something different to try and avoid it, and that would cause it. So I think just like being in your flow state, as they call it, and being, you know, extremely focused on the task at hand and, you know, playing your game. There's no point in focusing on injuries. A lot of the times it's not something you can prevent.
Okay. Yeah.
So you can do everything outside, such as gym, recovery, like ice baths, to get your body in the best shape possible. But once you're on the pitch, you never know when someone's going to, you know, put a reckless tackle in.
Yeah.
So I think just if it does happen, then knowing the mindset of how to deal with it, but never focusing on it.
Yeah. Yes. And you're a midfielder?
Yeah.
So what is, as a midfielder, in the structure of the games, luckily I know a little bit about how everyone is being placed. Which one would be the main teammate that you will rely on?
At the moment, I'd probably say our wingers, because that's where like a lot of our combinations come from, especially if I'm playing higher up the pitch.
Yep.
Then, you know, they'll go out to the winger, and then I'll either receive it and play it back forward, or I'll be getting in the box to get across from them. So
from
probably,
them.
yeah, the wingers.
Yeah. From my boys, I know they've sometimes tell me, yeah, you know, I knew I was going to score. Like when you're going forward with the ball, even though you had all these other people around you, they said to me sometimes, oh, I knew I was going to score. Did you have that same feeling?
Yeah, definitely. I think like, you know, when the play is just right, you kind of just know like, okay, I'm going to go take this ball and score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. And this is an amazing sensation, isn't it?
Yeah.
So coming to that, what were your most wonderful memories? I'm sure you have several memories, but yet you're still only 17, so you have lots of other memories to make. But so far?
So far, I'd say like in the last year and a half, starting from May 2024, I'd say it was getting to the under 17 Euros finals. We did lose against Spain in the final, but I think, you know, we made history as a team. So we were very happy about that. And, you know, hopefully this year, if all is well, we'll be able to try and contest the Euros again in the under 19s.
Yeah.
So I'd say that. I would say one of my fondest memories so far, and like the best experience I've had, is the World Cup in the Dominican Republic that we had last October.
Yeah.
So that was great. We managed to play against, you know, teams from all around the world. I actually played against Japan.
Yes.
And we beat them in the quarterfinal, which was not an amazing feeling that I was against my own team.
Your own country,
yeah.
my mother's country. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
but, you know, it was a great accomplishment, especially because they're an amazing team. And also just that whole month, it's like 1 month of being in Miami first and then in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
Like you just get so close to your teammates. You spend every day with them. You're going through all these emotions. So that was just like a an incredible experience. Yeah.
So this was the highs of your and talking about that. So what is now? What are the competitions? What are the games that are important games coming up now? If it's with Valadares or with you were telling me a little bit about Valadares was coming up, but then also with England. Can you tell our viewers?
So with Valadares, we just had our first league match.
Yes.
And we won that, which was a great start to our league. And
this was in Lisbon?
Yes.
And you won Woman of the Game, right?
Yes, exactly.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And then the next, we have until December, when our first round finishes. So we have quite a big amount of games coming up. We have 3 games in the next 3 weeks against Braga, Sporting, and Benfica. So those will be, very tough games, but great for experience. And then in terms of England, we have a camp at the end of October.
And where is that camp?
That will be in Estonia.
In Estonia,
yeah.
Wow, nice.
So that will be qualifiers, and then we have a few more camps next year, and then hopefully, if all goes well, we'll have the Euros in June.
In June, and the
July
Euros
as well.
Would be?
That will be Bosnia and Herzegovina. Yeah.
Okay, Bosnia and Herzegovina. So this is where you will have the World Cup. Perfect. So I'm sure you cannot wait to go to the camp and to get back to your teammate with England and started to prepare for this wonderful event as a woman. Together, ladies together. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. And I'm sure you're going to go very far. Now, let's talk just a little bit personally about you, about your fashion.
Okay.
I know you're a very, very fashionable girl, and I know you always being like that. I remember you when we were in Singapore going to Copenhagen, and you had this little Porsche with you. You were very, on the pitch and everything, and then off the pitch you have this little whatever pouch you had with all your hairbands inside and those lipsticks that were in hydration for the lips, but you were like this, always women ladylike. So tell me now, how do you combine it? Your outfit is very nice. So how do you are 17, so you follow fashion, obviously. So tell me, what are the things that you like?
Well, I'd say like my fashion varies quite a lot. Like I do love, very like simple, classy, elegant outfits. But on top of that, I do like some streetwear because that's very common in football. Yeah. So like, some pop of color here and there is also what I like. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's a great way to express yourself. It's nice to wear a nice outfit and look nice, going to training. It's just something that I really enjoy, picking my outfit, seeing what works best with different things. And especially for like winter that's coming up. Like I love winter outfits, either like I think I have like 2 completely different vibes. So sometimes I'll wear, like a nice skirt, a sweater, like a little purse, but then also some days I'll have like a nice tracksuit on. Which is nice.
Yes, because most of the time you live into your football gear. Yeah. Because I suppose like when you're traveling with England, you all have the same tracksuits, right, with the bags. So you're always wearing those. So I'm sure it will be. And what is one of the fashion icon, not maybe icon or fashion designer or that you like mostly, or something that you relate to or not? It doesn't have to be.
That's a good question.
If you have somebody, I don't know, but maybe you don't, it's fine too.
Well, I think that there's a lot of people like online that I see that I really like. I know that there's one girl called Rebecca. Her like @ is like not Rebecca. And she's like quite famous on Instagram and TikTok, and I really like some of the styles that she wears. But I think a lot of times I just pick and choose from, different people that I see and different outfits.
Yes. Just to talk about this double culture that you have, because obviously, me, we also have a double culture in our family. Do you think that the culture, because I know your family very well, so your mom is Japanese and all her family is Japanese, etc. Do you feel that you bringing this as well into your fashion a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. I think like they love to have, very timeless pieces, for example, with like patterns, maybe like a lot of the color red, pink. And I think I would love to go back to Japan more to be able to like see that more and be able to apply it to my own fashion.
Yes.
But definitely I think, they love to dress very classy, conservative, elegant, which is something I like to do. And I love those outfits as well.
Yes, very well, very good. So just to before we wrap up, to just, if you have an advice to an inspiration or anything that you would like to say to our viewers regarding women athletes performing on high level, what would you say? I mean, especially girls of your age.
Well, I think that the main thing to keep in mind is that like women's sport is always developing, and every single year it's improving and facilities are getting better. So I think like even now, if you don't think it's a viable profession, whatever sport it is, like in a few years it probably will be. So I think if it's something that you have a lot of passion in, then you should continue, because if you continue and if you express your passion, the world's going to make it like a better place and a better environment for you to do so. And on top of that, just like being confident in whatever you choose. I think that's the main important thing. Like once you choose it, play with confidence, know that you belong in that sport and that that's meant for you, and that just be very confident.
Yeah, take your space.
Yeah.
This is your time, your space.
Exactly.
And then, yes. And one final word also, what would you like to say to all the boys that who will watch you? You can tell them anything that you like to tell them, because at the end of the day, I think they also were there, including, of course, your brother, to shape you.
Yeah. Well, I'd say, first of all, thank you for all the aggressive tackles and skills that you'd pull on me every single time we played in the garden. But it's probably good that they didn't go easy on me. So thanks for that. They didn't have any mercy, which is good. But it's also good to be able to grow up with like a lot of boys around me with like the football culture. Yeah. I think it made like me a very strong footballer and person as well.
Yeah. I also think that, just to touch up on this before we finish, you also play park football. Please just explain what is park football, because I found this very, very interesting. I got super scared at the beginning when you guys attended it, but explain just 2 minutes.
Okay. So basically during COVID and the pandemic, like no one had any football clubs because they're all shut down. So we ended up going to the local park, Parque da Cidade in Porto. Okay. And we like figured out that, they were kind of organizing like illegal matches in a way, where like they probably weren't supposed to be out, but there would be like 6-7 teams and they'd be having like little tournaments, 7 aside. Yeah. So like me, Dennis, Dean, Cristiano, Julian, and like some other friends would go and we'd like make our own team, my dad in goal as well. Exactly. And then we'd basically play against these 30-year-old men and try and kick them off the pitch.
And you did. Yeah. And you guys totally did. And those men, because back then you were not that size, those men couldn't believe their eyes that that girl is going to play with us on the pitch, So I believe the park football is still happening now, and now there's no more COVID, so everything is very nicely organized. Do you still attend sometimes, or a little bit less now?
Yeah, I think a bit less now, just because you have a lot of trainings and games, so it's a bit difficult.
Yes. It's a pleasure. Correct?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a pleasure. I know whenever my boys are here on like a break, little summer break, something, they will attend if they organize it. But it's true, it's not always easy now anymore. But I found this really interesting, and I found it also very much interesting for you. I think you are the only girl playing with men and boys, So it was amazing. Erica, thank you so much. If there is anything else you'd like to add, please don't hesitate to do so.
All right.
And if there is something you would like to pass on for the next girls who will watch you, what would you like? Just your final word.
I'd say like my main thing is that like women's football is developing at a very fast pace. And so, you know, if you're looking to start, or if you don't think that like there's a place for you, there definitely is. I think just stay consistent. You know, you'll have to make sacrifices, but if you dedicate yourself and you really love it, then you know, you should continue.
And like you said, the sacrifices doesn't feel like a sacrifice anymore, because this is what you like to do. You know, you cannot drink alcohol. You know, and I know that you know that exactly.
Yeah,
you cannot go outside party until downfall. I mean, nightfall, etc. So, and for you, those are not sacrifices, correct? So, yeah. So this is, I think, what is very, very important to say, because I'm glad you mentioned it, because obviously you're 17, then going 18. A lot of children that age then started to go out. This is where you're going to discover the nightlife, kind of. But you still go out time to time, but make sure that you're coming back home, I suppose, at a reasonable time.
And exactly.
Yes. And how do you stay away from alcohol? Because nowadays, young people drink, maybe less than back in the days.
Yeah. I think who you surround yourself is really important. I think that the friends I've chosen to surround myself with, you know, although they might not all be athletes, they're all, you know, very dedicated to staying fit, staying healthy, going to the gym, working out. So I think that's been a very important part. You know, you really do become who you surround yourself with. So I think it's really important to make sure that you have good company around you. And also, like, one other point that I wanted to mention was that, like, every day I go to training, and, you know, I'm like so grateful that that's my job, which I think is a great thing. I think a lot of people and footballers forget that, you know, they're being paid to do something that they really love. And, like, you know, I still can't believe, like, it's a job for me, you know, and I get to get paid, and I get to have things provided for me. And I think, it's just important to, like, zoom out and realize that, like, you know, what you love and your passion has become a job, which is a lot of times not a possibility for people.
And young girl your age at 17 to get a salary and still continue your education, you know. So this is a bonus on top of another bonus, so, which is great. So stay inspired. Don't feel like you're being restricted if you have to do sacrifices, and not hesitate to show yourself, also to show your passion. I think if you play with your heart, and this is this is the best part of it, that you're playing with your heart, correct?
Yeah, agreed.
Perfect. Well, Erica, thank you so much for agreeing. I really hope you enjoyed this conversation with me.
I did.
This episode with me. I am so delighted to have you over, because, like I said, I know you a long time, and you have been, I had, of course, follow your journey. And I think you are really an inspiration for young ladies or young girls watching you are playing football, maybe sometimes down and not happy, or because it's really tough in every ways, not only football, any sport at the highest level, being an athlete. So you have to be very strong, have a mental strength, etc. So thank you so much, and I'm glad that as one of the first women athletes that I interview, it's you, because I know you, like I said, since you're 5 years of age. Watching you, we'll have all the photographs that is coming up as we are talking of you, and I was so proud of you when you were wearing this great England jersey, number 7. So watch out on number 7. Maybe you'll see her at the Euro this year. So this is all what I'm praying for and hope for you, for your team. Okay.
Thank you.
Just do well.
Of course.
Thank you, Erica. See you soon. And I will see you soon into our next episode with Accessible. I hope that you enjoy this episode with Erica Parkinson. And I will see you soon. And so until then, please take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.